You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Good morning, Firm Rooted family. Technical difficulties like crazy today. Sorry about that. We're not live on Facebook. I think when Rooted Men goes too far or Flourish goes too far, all of a sudden we can't go live on Facebook in two different things. So sorry about that. But the only people that are going to be on board here are going to be people who are on X or YouTube. I tried to get it re-engaged and it's still, yeah. It is still not working on Facebook. All right. Well, frustrating, you know what I mean? You try to get the word out there and people are used to getting onto Facebook and seeing the devotions, and then all of a sudden they can't. So we got to figure that out. But I think it's happening because the Rooted Men and the Flourish and then Strengthen Our Roots are all butting up against each other. And sometimes the one is still live while the other one's running an intro, and Facebook doesn't know what to do. So we're going to have to study that, look at that, and see what to do. But welcome anyways. You'll notice that you can see some things on the bottom right of your screen, some of the posts that are coming up. So you can know that Steve Giroux is on board. So is Bert Reggiani. Good morning. Jody Glenn, love you too. Good morning. Connie Sandbrink, Firmly Rooted Greendale. Chuck B, good morning, Firmly Rooted Greendale and Oxford family. Karen Thompson's on board. Nikki's on board. And again, I'm so sorry that Facebook Greendale and Facebook Oxford is not working. So let me pull up, excuse me, let me pull up the reading here. I thought I had all this set up. All these technical difficulties, my goodness. Well, let's make sure you can see. Where are we? There we are. All right, you all can see the reading. If so, I'm going to go to Mark 16, and we're going to look at verses 1 through 8. The resurrection. When the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him, embalm the body, right? Finish the job that Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus began to do, because they were in a rush. They had to get it all in and all done and get them there before the Passover. And so very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb, and they were saying to one another, who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance of the tomb, right? They're so emotionally, you can tell, right? I mean, people say, the disciples faked all of this, right? Or somehow they stole the body, which is just ridiculous, because they had a Roman soldiers at the base of that tomb. But the women are going there emotionally distraught, and they don't even think about the fact that somebody's got to roll that stone away. And no way in the world are these women going to be able to move that stone. And looking up, they noticed that the stone had already been rolled back. And they entered the tomb, and they saw a young man sitting on the right side, dressed in a white robe, and they were alarmed. An angel. And he said to them, do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. An angel sitting in the tomb, because the angel rolled away the stone. The angel's presence and the earthquake caused all the Roman soldiers to fall down like dead men. They finally get up and run away. And just imagine being these ladies as the angel says, he's not here. He's not here. Come see, he was here, which means you're probably looking at a blood-stained wrapping that Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus put around Jesus' body. Go back to the upper room and tell the disciples and Peter that he, Jesus, is going to meet you in Galilee. Now, he's going to meet them right there in the upper room later today, but the point is that this is like a permanent meeting. Like, he's not dead. He's alive. And the disciples are going to see him, and we know it did, right? The Emmaus disciples, all of them, and then it was Thomas. So he's going to get to all of them, but eventually they're going to get near Galilee, because Jesus is going to be with them on and off for almost 40 days before his ascension, when he ascends into heaven. Book of Acts chapter 1. But go tell the disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. And there you will see him just as he told you, just as he said. Now it's the remember, right? They couldn't remember, they couldn't comprehend that Jesus was going to be handed over to the Roman government, that he was going to be beaten and scourged and crucified, and he's going to rise again. Remember, all the times, 3 or 4 times, he reminds them and tells them, but it doesn't sink in. They weren't ready for it. God wasn't ready for them to know it, but the words were spoken, and now the hope is, aha, now I remember. See, sometimes when we're in the Word, we wonder sometimes, why am I in the Word? Why am I in the Word? What does that mean? What does that mean? Until 3 days later, we're involved in something that absolutely is connected to the words we read just 2 days ago. It's how God is. Maybe that word wasn't alive and active. Maybe it wasn't hitting in all the cylinders when you first read it. But boy, 2 days later, you're going through a situation and you're going, whoa, I just read about that and things like that. So-and-so in the Bible went through the very thing I'm going through. There it is. There it is. The God of the universe sends an angel, and eventually Jesus himself, to let them know. He says in the second half of verse 7, there you will see him, just as he told you. And they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them, and they said nothing to anyone, and they were afraid. They didn't talk to anybody on the way until they got to the upper room. And as we know, they ended up telling the disciples that they not only saw an angel, but saw Jesus on the way. Mary Magdalene, I saw Jesus. By nighttime, it's the Emmaus disciples. We saw him. And the resurrection starts to change everything, right? Man, so good, so powerful. Let me remove that reading. Let me say hi. I think I saw somebody else come on board. There's Alice. Good morning, Alice. Hey, I must have gone live on Facebook right at the end. Oh my goodness. It's got to be that they're butting up against each other, and it takes time for Facebook to figure it out. I noticed that like on YouTube or X, you can stream, like Kimberly and I could stream at the same time. Facebook will not let us do it. We can only do one stream at a time. So we're going to have to figure that out. I guess make the devotion shorter. That's probably a good thing. All right. I think that's all I have. Blessings on your day. Make it a firmly rooted day. And may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.